Hi there! This is a quick tutorial demonstrating how to apply the app on your own repeater design on Wix Studio, or alternatively use the app's design template library on Wix's classic editor or Wix Studio. So we'll start with a design template library because it's available for both editors. But if you want to know how to design your own repeater and apply the app, then stick around. So let's start with an empty website on a Wix classic editor. The first thing we need to do is to go to the app market and install the app. The app comes with a 5-day free trial, so it's easy to check it out and make up your mind about it. So in the search, I typed sliders, and this is the app. It's called Sliders. I add it to site, agree and add. And then I have this app widgets section under the plus menu. So for Wix Classic Editor, I can only use the design template widget. I drag it to the site, and then the default template appears. And here I have a few buttons. Let's go over them. The first one is templates. Here I can choose which template I want to use. There are some templates that don't fit the original widget size, like this one, for example. So you can resize it, and everything is responsive. And this is, for example, designed to look like this. So whenever I change the template and something maybe looks off, I don't know, I resize this one, and then I want to use this one, and it looks kind of weird, right? So this is because it's not the intended size, so I can now resize it and everything looks fine. Now each template has its own design presets. So this one, for example, only has a desktop and a mobile, but if we go to testimonials, for example, then if I click again inside the widget, I get the control panel of the actual template, and here I have a change preset button. Okay, so here I can choose from the various testimonial presets. Maybe I want 2 items. Maybe I want to use a testimonial with a photo. And every preset comes every template comes with a preset that fits mobile. For example, now I went to the mobile editor, and this preset does not fit the mobile editor. So here again, I click once, I get the templates widget, and click again inside, and I get the actual template. I click the design presets, and if I want to use the one with the picture, then I choose the one called One Photo Mobile. Okay, you can see the design, and there's also some helpful names. And then the preset is changed, and I have this one on mobile, and this one on editor, and everything's fine. Now let's continue with the buttons. There's the settings button, we'll get there soon, and the layout button. This one allows me to add control and navigation buttons, playback and navigation buttons to be exact. So I can do like 2 navigation buttons on the side, or 2 navigations buttons inside the design. You can go through them. I can also add this unified control panel. This is for vertical design, and This is for horizontal design. So I can choose navigation buttons or not. Maybe I only want a play pause button because of some accessibility issue. Then I can just delete the buttons and then leave only the navigation button present. And if I decide that I want to bring back the navigation buttons, then there is this elements button on the template widget, which allows me to bring them back. Okay, and the last one is the settings button. Here I can determine the behavior of my template, of my repeater actually. So there are a few things here. This is the default settings. It determines whether there's an infinite loop, like when the last item is showing, then it will continue again to the first item, the same in reverse. Automatic slideshow, whether to activate automatically the slideshow or not, if I want a slideshow. There's a slideshow type. It's either interval or continuous scrolling. Like an interval would show you one item, then stop, move to the next item and stop, and continuous will just scroll continuously over all your repeater items. And slideshow speed, this is for continuous. I can determine whether to pause and hover or not. This is the time between slides. This is for the intervals I was talking about. I can activate mouse wheel scrolling. That allows me to scroll horizontally using the mouse wheel. And the scroll animation, I have the default one, which is the browser. That's the none. I have duration scrolling, like from one end to the next, from one item to the next, how long it takes for an entire item to scroll by. So let's say I want 2 seconds for that. And easing, this determines the acceleration and deceleration of the actual animation. So let's pick out Quint, for example, and I think the best thing is just to show what goes on here. So I publish the site, and this is the live site, and I refresh it. The widget loads with the template and the buttons and starts the automatic slideshow. Okay, these are maybe not the best images for lazy loading. You should most definitely use images that fit the frame, because of Wix's lazy loading system that loads the images after, only when they become visible. Anyway, this is me using the navigation buttons. I can play and I can pause the slideshow, of course. And this particular design has like a counter for how many. Now I'm scrolling with my mouse wheel. And that's about it. I mean, from here on, I'm pretty sure you can play and figure it out. One last thing is the speed animation type. This controls the animation. I mean, the time to take one item to scroll. Instead of using duration, it's using pixel per second speed measurement. This is completely irrelevant for designs like this one, because all the repeater items are exactly the same width. The only times it comes into play is in a repeater like this. This is a different website, and here I used max content. So I have a short repeater and a long repeater, and instead of them taking like, I don't know, 2 seconds to scroll through the ease and then 2 seconds to scroll through the everything, this makes it more dynamic and I think reasonable. So notice how long it takes the ease to scroll, which is a lot shorter than the time it takes the everything to scroll, because it's measuring speed and not duration. Moving on. So let me just change the presets into, no, let's keep it. I want to show you how you can connect your repeater to data. So I click on the widget inside to get to this preset thing we talked about, and then I can click again and I get the repeater. Here I can add items. I can remove items as well. The thing is, with Wix Editor you can't really scroll, so it is recommended you use data or play with the placement and then change the content. This is the only thing, the only way to manually change the content right now. This is not the same on Wix Studio. On Wix Studio you can scroll inside and change the content. That's not a problem. But like I said, it is recommended that you connect to data. This is I connect to CMS. Actually, okay. So this is the connect to CMS button here on the repeater. It says here. And is this working? Okay, so this needs a dataset. So I am clicking add to dataset. I have a default empty dataset that you can use. It's called sliders app content. Let's say we create it. And here I go to where it says CMS, your collections, and here you have sliders app content. Before I continue, let me just say this is for ease of use. You can connect this to any CMS collection that you create yourself as well. This is just for people who are maybe less experienced using data. So here there is some, Here there is some sample content, and you can start connecting. Okay, let's go back and show you what's going on. So this is, this is, I'm sorry. This should cover all the templates. So it has a button URL if you have a button that needs to click. This has a button label. This has a primary image and a secondary image, a number. Maybe you want to set something with a price or anything else. Text field for description, a subtitle, and a title. So let's talk about how this connects to this preset. So here we see that we have an image. Let's go to the repeater thing. And here we have a vector art, not connected. Vector art, not connected. I don't need to connect these. It shows you all the things that are not necessarily visible. Anyway, so let's connect the image. this image goes to primary image, and I can connect the alt text for the subtitle perhaps, or the description, whichever I choose and think is right, what I've set myself. There's a text field here. This text field can connect to, for example, description, and this one maybe to a title. Okay, and then I can publish. If you don't understand what's going on, everything that you see here comes from this database, from here. Okay, everything here is being rendered into this repeater. So I'll publish and refresh the live site. And then I see the new content in my repeater, because it repeats design with different data on every item. And say I want to connect this to my own created CMS. Then again, I go back to this repeater, connect to CMS, choose a data set, and I want to add a new data set. I have a different CMS here called testimonials, and I want to connect to this one instead. So I will choose the image, and I will change this to testimonial, and choose profile pic, and the alt to title. You will not have to reinstate these if you just go with your original CMS. This is just like I made a mess, and now I need to change the connections. So I change this to the testimonial dataset and connect to a testimonial, and the name is again changing to the testimonial dataset and connecting to the title. Okay, and now I'll publish and refresh. And now I'll refresh, and let's see what happens. There's a little slide, and a little slide, and a little slide. Okay, so everything seems to be just fine. But sometimes when you have a lot of data, you might want to wait for the animation to make it start only after all the data is delivered into the repeater. For this, we have here in the settings something called wait for dataset via Velo code. Once I turn this switch on, the animation will never start until it's called by a public function. You can read this. I will not read it out loud now. And you get a code snippet that you can use to make the app wait for data. this switch has to work with this code snippet. One of them will not work on its own. How do I add this code snippet, you ask? Well, here I have a dev mode button in the menu, and I click turn on the dev mode. This window opens. It's called code panel. Here I see onReady function. It starts here with this bracket and ends here, and there's all kinds of instructions in the middle. You can delete this stuff or leave it be, but this function needs to stay complete and unhindered. And here you paste the code that you copied from this menu. Something very, very important needs to be checked now. This is the properties and event panel. This, when I click this section, it says section 1. When I click the templates, it says templates 1. This and this has to be the same. If you see this is different than this, for example, I will name it my template, then I have to replace this one. It's going to be hashtag my template or whatever. This app is available to use multiple times, and only the first time is going to be called templates 1. So this has to be checked. And then when I publish it, the app will wait for the data to be delivered and only then start animating. Okay, so I wanted to show this preset. Just to demonstrate something that is not a single item thing, because most of our designs will not need a single item. So here we have 2 items. I mean, on testimonials, you probably wouldn't want like 10 items showing. It's either 1 or 2 or maybe 3. But for example, most of our things will have much more, like this one. This one has the ability to show 6 items, 4 items, 5 items, 3 items. So I just want to show that this is a capability. I think that's it for the templates. Let's move on to the Wix Studio system, which is pretty much the same, only it doesn't have a template, it doesn't have a design. Let's just see it. So we have this empty page here. This is like something I designed and then connected the app to, what we started the tutorial with. So let's do this from scratch. The same process, you know, with the app market and search and install, and the app widgets is up here now. So let's first do the repeater, and we add the app later. What we need to do is add a repeater, and then in the inspection panel we choose slider. Oh no, this is not good for demonstrating. Why is it right to left? Okay, some of you might have right to left direction because you are using RTL right in direction in your site, and then Wix just changes it. if you approve, of course, which I did. So doesn't matter, this app also supports right to left scrolling. So show scroll bar should be off. The app will turn it off anyway, so it's better that we turn it off here. Scroll snap should be should be none, and I think we know how to design stuff, right? I don't need to show how to design. Maybe we need some elements to connect to data though. So let's put like an image maybe. Okay, some random image. So this is an image, and let's put like I don't know, a title. What do people put on repeaters? I put titles. Okay, make this like 100% and move it down. Let's make it from left to right. And we will maybe add like a few items, and this is a Wix bug with the right to left direction. I don't know, I think I'm gonna shoot this tutorial again, but let's keep going for now. So we have like a few items here, we can see them, like these are all the items, and what we want to do now is to add the widget and connect it. So we go to the app widgets and your design Wix Studio. Yeah, I just drop it here. This is the entire widget. It will be invisible on your live site, somewhere near the repeater, wherever is comfortable. Behind it will be fine too, although you'll have trouble reaching the settings. Now we have pretty much the same settings except for the dataset switch. So I won't go over them again. If you skip through the template part, go back and see the settings explanation. Let me just set something, I don't know, let's do continuous because I haven't done this before. Remove pause on hover. Okay, that's pretty much it. And then we have to add code to connect this to this, so this widget will know which repeater it's supposed to be manipulating. So we need to go here and start coding. Okay, this is unrelated. We'll put it away. Okay. We have this onReady function. Here we can do two things. First of all, we can either go to the README, under support, README, and here we have how to create a custom slider with Wix Studio only, a really long explanation with code snippets. We're only starting with a repeater without buttons, so let's just do that. And we copy the code and we paste the code, and it says your design one. Your design one is this is the widget. As you can see, it says your design one, this has to be the same. And fetch repeater, my repeater. My repeater is a placeholder. What I need to do is to select my actual repeater, and here you see it's called repeater 4. So if I'll write repeater 4, this squiggly line will disappear. But let's call it I don't know, test repeater. So, because it's important to name your stuff, then you'll see the code and you know what it's talking about. And then I remove the text, the hash stays, and I write test repeater, and we're good to go. Let's publish. This has nothing to do with the app. This is just a developer site with a lot of broken code that's missing parts and on different pages. Ignore it. Refreshing. This is like the empty site. Blank website. What's going on? Hello? Refresh it. There you go. And we have continuous scrolling right to left. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's working. Now, I don't want to confuse anyone, but let's say I want to change the direction, then I can write this little code, CSS code. It's the class name is LTR-rep, and all it does is direction left to right. So with the repeater chosen, I will just add this little thing, LTR-rep, so I can show what the majority of the world is using. Let's connect this to data. I will choose a dataset called Interior English and connect the image. Jumps, of course. Connect the image and main image. Alt text, I don't know, short description. Okay. And connect the text. Project name. Fine. Let's make the image maybe. This is also a bug from the right to left. Wix, if you're watching, fix right to left. Oh my god, it's completely broken. I think I'm definitely doing this again on a different website, but let's see this connected to data thing. And this is maybe now we'll see the jump with the data render happen. Where are my pictures? Seriously, what's going on? Hello? Or at least the sliding direction is now fixed. This is going to be a terrible tutorial with so many Wix bugs going on. But look, the glass is half full. These are not my bugs, so that's cool, right? What? Why are they not in the repeater? Attach, thank you. 100. Let's align. Let's publish. Let's see what's going on. Refresh. So we fixed the scroll direction with the CSS to go left to right. And here is my repeater with my design and all my images. And why is it not glitching? I created a cool function that waits for a dataset because it can glitch the animation, and it's not glitching, it's being very, very rude. Anywho, you should wait for a dataset before animating, and this is why we have another function. Of course, you can get everything in the README, but let's just type it here. So we're talking about our widget, which is called your design one dot wait dataset, and this has to be first before the fetch repeater once initiates, because before it initiates the repeater, it needs to know that it needs to wait for a dataset to be ready. So we open the brackets and $W, more open brackets, these quotes, page, and now it will wait for a dataset before animating. Let's move on to this complete design. It comes with buttons as well. These are not template buttons. I mean, I had to okay, let's demonstrate. Let's make a button to scroll, and actually let's make it scroll backwards, and we'll call it here in the properties and events, this is the ID. We'll call it go back, and we'll make a new line and write your design one. I'm sorry, I'm like, what I'm doing is typing hashtag and the start of the word here, the widget ID, and then it just give me this suggestion, and I click tab. Or I can just do $W, open bracket, quote, hashtag, your capital D design one dot. We want this to go back, so you see it also suggests a few things, but some of these are not useful, but forget about it. This is the backroll slide, this is the actual function, but it also suggests a lot of other random stuff, so leave it be. Backroll slide. Okay, let me just remind everyone that everything is documented here in the README. All the code, all the snippets, all the API references, this one, API references. So for this instance, I need to backroll slide, purpose connects a button to the element trigger to trigger the backward slide action. And here I have this happy code snippet, which I can just copy and help myself, right? So the only reason I'm typing this is to encourage good habits to avoid future errors. So I copied the code from the README file. I have a squiggly line under the button ID called backroll slide, and then with what's making the backroll slide, this backward button. But there's no backward button ID on my page. What do I have here? This button, which has the ID of go back. So I just write go back the same way, and this squiggly line disappears. I'll publish, and dun 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 dun. Ignore this. The next note to self, next tutorial, shoot on a clean site, and refresh. And here we go. No, I want to go back. Okay, go. no, hovering the buttons stops, by the way, always. And I am going back. So I can do another button to go forward, and I can also add another button to play and pause, like these buttons. I don't know, play. Right, we killed the code. So let's write the code for this happy one. Here, for example, the widget is called, here's the widget, maybe I should move it up here. The widget is called repeater flow 1, right? So let's return this code to the onReady function and uncomment it. These, like if you write this, it makes the code not work. So this needs to be gone. And what we have here is the widget ID, and it's waiting for dataset. It fetches repeater, it rolls the slide, it back rolls the slide, and it plays and it pauses. I mean, it's using the entire capabilities of the app. It's telling the app the repeater is repeater 3, the roll forward, roll slide is right, the back roll slide is left, the buttons, right? And we are talking about these. This is right. Let's move this section up. It's gonna be easier to show. So we were saying the button to go forward is right, yeah, this one. Button to go left, to go backward, is left. Maybe we should change these because this can be very misleading. Because if I would have kept these repeaters going from right to left, then backward would be towards the right and not towards the left. So let's do this forward. And here as well, they always have to match. And this play pause can just remain play pause, right? And backwards telling me something's wrong with this one, right? This is forward. Ooh, this is, okay, no. This should be backward, and this should be forward. So why am I showing this ready-made repeater that I've designed beforehand? Because here I took the time to add buttons which hold links. I added hover interactions. Let's get over them. Let me just make sure I'm hovering, pausing on hover. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Let's go. Did it finish? Refreshing again. There we go. So, oh, it's supposedly waiting for data, and what's going on? Why don't you work? Oh my god. What is this? Do I have some mess left in my code here? What's going on? This is very weird. Okie dokie. Everything just blew out. What is going on? Public pages, what the hell? What's going on? What do you mean regular expression? When did we play with regular expressions? I do not remember such a thing. Not here. Where am I? Oh jeez, I have like a gazillion tabs. Okay. What the hell is that? Oh, there you go. Here it is. Now it's gonna work. Let's go. Yes. Sometimes errors are actually errors. So now we refresh this again. Waits for the dataset to be ready and then starts animating. So, where was I? I was talking about the fact that I added hover interactions, right? Like from right here. See, we have interactions like color or on self, fade on image. You know, I did buttons with links that, well, this one doesn't have a website, but this one does. So yeah, this is to demonstrate that you can link to your maybe dynamic pages, for example. You know, basically everything works. I mean, you don't lose anything from your repeater design abilities. You can also write Velo code and it will also work. So this is it. Let's call it a beta, maybe alpha tutorial, but something to start with. Enjoy.